All right, so we did it, and we're back with episode 5, the quest for immortality complete. All 4 Halloween Horror Nights in 4 consecutive weekends, from Japan to Singapore to Hollywood to Orlando. We did it. Now let's talk about it. So, fun facts of the trip. The duration from start to finish, from first Halloween Horror Nights to last, was 20 days. In those 20 days, we went to 9 Halloween Horror Nights, 26 unique haunted houses, 22,080 air miles traveled, and we also went 3 for 3 in completing escape rooms. So it was quite the roller coaster ride. It was a lot of fun. It was also pretty crazy with the travel and everything else. So, but yeah, let's talk about, the travel and everything like that. So, was all that travel, was it worth it? Was it worth it to get to all 4 Halloween Horror Nights in the world? Tira, why don't we start with you? Was it worth it for you?
It is definitely worth it.
Why?
It was once lifetime experience. I don't think I would do it again. All 4 in like week to week to week to week. I don't know. I would want to do it again, but once we have opportunity, the chance to do it is really worth it.
It's been on my bucket list for a long time to go to more than 1 in a year, let alone all 4. So I'm happy we did it, and I'm happy this was a perfect opportune time when I'm on a work assignment in Japan, living here for a couple of years, to cross this off, go back to Singapore, and then do both in the U.S. I would also agree that we would never do it again, but then pretty soon there's going to be a 5th Halloween Horror Nights, and that's going to be a permanent location in Las Vegas. So I think it's going to happen again, God willing. What were your overall, what was your pros, what were your cons of the trip?
The pros is it was a lot of fun when the trip is over, when you're looking back, it was a lot of fun. But when you in the situation, it was so much. It was a lot.
What most people don't know is we started off, so we were in Korea for a work conference that I had the week before we started this. We had 4 days to get ready, and then we traveled to Osaka for Halloween Horror Nights, Japan, and then we traveled to Thailand for our groundbreaking ceremony of the house that we're constructing. Stay tuned for a future episode. And then we went right to Singapore, right into Halloween Horror Nights. Then we flew back to Kyoto for work meetings I had in Kyoto. Then traveled back to our home in Yokohama for literally 48 hours, and then we were off to Hollywood, and then right off to Orlando. So it was pretty much non-stop,
yes.
The whole 20-day. It actually was more than 20 days if you factor in the pre and the post travel to and from the first Halloween Horror Nights.
Not counting jet lag.
We had no time for jet lag. There was no jet lag.
We're suffering.
No, there was no option for it. I think I'm just over the jet lag now. Basically 2 weeks, not even 2 weeks removed from the trip.
Yeah.
But again, overall, I agree. It was well worth it. Bucket list item checked. And stay tuned later to find out if I checked another bucket list item off of my list, and that would be a Guinness World Record.
One of the good thing is we take the opportunity of this trip to see our friends that we have never seen for a long time in Singapore, that we, after the pandemic happened, I think it was 4 years, 3 years, 4 years.
Yeah, that's right. This Halloween Horror Nights Singapore was our excuse to return to Singapore for the first time since the pandemic. We got to see 2 of my best friends, Albert and Peter. Even did food review, which seems to be popular when we see friends on these videos, and you can check that out. And pretty cool, we reviewed one of former Now Boring Radio's channels, Chopper Test Kitchen's video, so check that out.
amazing.
I'm gonna be honest. Let me see if I get this to go back
I
around to
couldn't
me.
do a better job, dude.
I'll be honest, Mize. In all truth, that was his second reaction. The first reaction was
Yeah.
dynamite.
I know, dude, but it's like
All right,
hard to
honestly.
contain it.
Let me ask you a question, Albert. Honestly,
Yep.
you were from Spain. Tapa, legit or not legit?
100%. 100% legit. The way it was done, step by step. Cutting the tomato, grating it, olive oil, doing the bread, putting first the whole garlic, spread in a bit of like sea salt, which I saw it was sea salt. It was not like normal salt. Amazing.
In California, we have Moody and Kinga join us for the Halloween Horror Nights for their
Also, former Now Boarding Radio.
first time ever. So it was pretty good. It was a good time.
It's always awesome to indoctrinate someone into Halloween Horror Nights. I remember when I first did it with you, Patira.
Yeah,
But
that they will like either love it or really hate it, one
Yeah.
way or the other. It's like no middle.
I don't think I've talked to Moody or Kinga since that. But I will say we did get to indoctrinate both of them, some of our best friends, to Halloween Horror Nights.
Are we going? Are we going?
To Halloween Horror Nights? I hope so.
We are, cheers. Oh, we are going. Yeah, it's going.
You just got me gagging like a motherfucker.
We're back, guys. We are back. The Now Boarding Travel Show back with one of the men who started it all, the Mood Man. How do you feel, Moody?
I'm tired, Jim. I'm not gonna lie to you. Driving 6 hours through the night, but I'm excited. I'm amped up, ready to go.
Driving 6 hours through the night was yesterday. Today is today. How do you feel?
The same as 30 seconds ago when you asked me, Jim. To be honest, not much. Not much
Let's-
has changed, brother.
Let's try one more time. How do you feel today, Mood?
I am amped up, Jim. I'm ready to hit Halloween Horror Nights. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Let's go. Cheers, brother. It's good to have you back on the show.
Good to be back. Good to be here with you guys.
Their first time ever going. We went for 2 nights with them, and that was great. And they also provided a great beverage review. Check it out.
Back with you guys for day 2 of Halloween Horror Nights. King and I are having a little bit of an anniversary, not quite exactly 5 years to the day, but 5 years ago in June, we were at Harry Potter World's set tour in London for our first butterbeer, a non-alcoholic butterbeer. So take 2, 5 years in the making. We're gonna finally have alcoholic butterbeer. Here we go. I already alcoholed mine with a double, so we're both gonna do this at the same time. Love you.
Cheers,
5
babe.
years, baby. Much better.
What a glorious mustache over
The
here.
mustachioed. Hey, you can't have a butterbeer without a mustache. Let's go.
What's the rating, Mood?
Delicious, honestly. I'm upset that you don't like it because I want you to
So,
try it.
rating 1 out of 10, it's delicious. There's no numerical value.
I thought you were just asking my opinion. 1 out of 10? 8.8.
Kinga, 1 out of 10.
1 out of 10. I'm gonna say, with emotional value, 9.5
Flavor value.
for me. Flavor value, 9.5.
All right, so what you guys have been waiting for. You've heard our haunted house ratings, and now we're going to talk about the actual theme park ratings. So we're going to start with numbers 4 and number 3, because I think this was pretty obvious. But Tira, I'm going to ask you, what was your number 4 Halloween Horror Nights theme park, and what was the number 3?
My number 4 is Japan. My number 3 is Singapore.
Spot on. I wouldn't have changed it any differently. It was pretty obvious for us. So the thing with Japan is it was just so small. I mean,
So
only 3 houses.
Lame, so
It-
boring.
It lacked.
Yeah.
It lacked. Even Singapore was a huge upgrade with the 5 houses
Yes.
and the 3 scare zones. But then there was Halloween Horror Nights Hollywood in Orlando.
Can't beat them.
You can't beat them. But you guys are going to have to stay tuned till later in the episode to find out which one takes the number 1 spot. All right, so our tips to survive any of the Halloween Horror Nights. I'm going to start with this. My first tip is to get there early and or stay there late. If you get there early, you can be one of the first people into the park, and you can really game it. Know what houses you want to go to first, and go. You can usually get into one or two houses pretty quickly when the park opens. At the same time, stay late. Towards the last hour, 2 hours of the event, lines will significantly reduce to really like 5 to 30 minutes. So you can really knock off probably half or more of the houses. And then we're talking about Orlando or Hollywood if you just wait that last hour or two. But Tira, tips to survive.
You have to have an extra time for the trip, because you cannot do all the houses, especially in Hollywood and Orlando, in one night. It's impossible. So you have to split house between nights, and then maybe do half and half. And because you have to have you need a break time that you're gonna do like shows, like sit down for like half an hour to watch the show, or take a break from standing for the long line and walk through over cigar zone with few beverages after the long line. So you need to have an extra time. You cannot rush the trip. You cannot do everything in one night, except you buy the express pass, which we didn't.
Yeah, except for Singapore. So if you can do the express pass, I encourage you to do it. Even with the express pass, and when you get to Hollywood and Orlando, getting all the houses in is still sometimes difficult. You'll have to still be there probably most of the night. So Patir is absolutely right. Extend the nights, reduce the chaos, for sure. And again, if you can afford the express pass, that's definitely a way where you can, most likely in all of the Halloween Horror Nights, you can do it all in one night or close to it.
For my tips is, you have to stay close to Universal, as close as possible. You don't have to stay in like City Walk or things like that, because the hotel is so pricey. So maybe like 10 minutes by car if you look up, because once the event done, it's a mad when to get out of the like book the Uber and get out of the park to back to your hotel. So
Ubering out is not always easy, especially at the end of the night when everyone's looking for that Uber. So yeah, stay close, and if you're at a location that has public transit to get to where you're going, use public transit. So you saw on the fun facts, Patir and I also completed 3 out of 3 escape rooms. So this actually started our first night in Los Angeles. We were right on Hollywood Boulevard, and we noticed there was an escape room, and we went in, and it wasn't just a normal escape room. It was an escape room that was themed to the 1950s club lounge. It was really, really cool. It was awesome. And then the houses were all horror themed. They all had a horror theme, and they were all scary escape rooms. So the first night we were there, we did one. That was the easiest house that they had, because it was just Patira and I. We completed it, I think, with 7 minutes left.
7 minutes left, yes.
It was awesome. Literally 2 days later, when Moody and Kinga arrived, we did the hardest house with them. We've done escape rooms with them before, and we were also successful. I forget how many minutes were left. I think it was also
less than 5. I think like 3 minutes.
It may have been like 3 minutes, but we still had, it wasn't as tense as the one time in Sacramento. And then Patira and I did another house, just the two of us, in Orlando, which was, it's basically the same house that we did in San Francisco for St. Patrick's Day with Moody and Kinga. It's the same franchise in Orlando. It was fun. I think escape rooms are quickly slotting into the number 2 spot of interactive, detailed experiences, really right under Halloween Horror Nights. So we'll see how escape rooms play out on this channel going forward.
One of the items that we forget to mention was the show in Hollywood and in Orlando.
Yeah, we didn't mention the shows. We didn't really have time in other videos to do it. So there was the Purge show in Hollywood, which took place where Waterworld took place. An awesome show. One of the coolest things I took from that show is how they had blood splatter in certain action scenes. And literally, someone would get hit with a bat and blood would splatter all over. That was, I don't know, I have an idea of how they may have done it, but the way it looked was legit. That was cool. And in Florida, we had Nightmare Fuel Revenge Dream. Do you want to tell everyone about that?
It was cool because we went to the Halloween Horror Nights Orlando last year, and the show it was continue from the last year. Yes.
Not necessarily a sequel, but another rendition of Nightmare Fuel.
Yes, it's a little detail that the Halloween Horror Night was hidden. It was pretty cool show.
Yeah, this was cool. It's a show. It includes a little bit of magic meets heavy metal music, meets a lot of fire and flames and flame breathers and all of that. Also meets nicely bodied men and women in scantily clad outfits. So
it will be
Nightmare
some
Fuel.
kind of the nightmare that probably you not want to get out. You not want to wake up from those nightmare. I would say.
Depends on who you are. So we're down to the final two theme park rankings, number 2 and number 1. We know number 4 was Japan. We know number 3 was Singapore. Number 2.
For me, it was Hollywood.
Hollywood. Wow.
Yes.
I agree. Hollywood.
No, you
I
can't
agree.
agree.
It's already made up in my mind. Hollywood. Halloween Horror Nights Hollywood was fantastic in terms of the characters. These people, hey, it's the land of actors. It's the land of fame, right? So these people wanted to scare you. They wanted to act, and they did a fantastic job. I will say, out of all 4 Halloween Horror Nights, and why this one came so close to me as being number 1 was the fact that the actual characters really acted very well and wanted to scare you at every turn.
Yes. For me, Hollywood was very close to number 1, Orlando, but in Orlando I prefer like the big house, the scale, the decoration. I gotta give it to them because they have like more thing to see. It's better.
I agree. Halloween Horror Nights Orlando, while narrowly, it easily secured the victory, and again it is because of the atmosphere, the detail, the scale. Again, these houses were, in terms of like vertical structures, were 2, 3, 4 times what the houses were in Hollywood. The detail was just much more impressive than Hollywood. And even the IP houses had a little something extra compared to what was in Hollywood. Orlando's the premier Halloween Horror Nights resort, so they should be number 1, and this year they definitely were in both of our opinions. I actually thought Patira was going to go Hollywood, so that's a bit surprising. I'm proud of you. So yeah, that's where it plays out, and we'll see what happens in the future, especially when Vegas is on board. All right, so all 4 Halloween Horror Nights in the world in 20 days. Did we set a world record? Well, believe it or not, I contacted Guinness World Records. I don't know if they practice what they preach or if there's just that many people inquiring about records these days, but they responded in record time. And their response really was, it's not a category that they track. Meaning, they could not deny the world record, nor could they confirm. But that to me means we have set a world record for attending all 4 Halloween Horror Nights in the world in just 20 days. So until you can prove me otherwise, we are world record holders. Congratulations, Patira.
Yeah.
You did it.
I did it, yeah.
We did it.
It was a lot of pain and money.
Now, that being said, we also found out something really interesting. I don't know how many of you guys watch Dude Perfect or other shows that claim Guinness World Records, but let me tell you, to get one of those adjudicators to come and hand you the frame and consult with you to make sure you get the record, starting $16,000 US.
Yeah.
I'm happy with the record we have. I don't need the Guinness stamp
We
of
made
approval.
our own record for free.
I don't need the Guinness stamp of approval, but it does raise some ideas for a potential future episode. So thank you guys for watching our Quest for Immortality series, all 5 episodes. Hey, we're not done. We're just getting started. So stay tuned next week for our next episode on the channel of the Now Boarding Travel Show, where we talk about a day in Yokohama, Japan. Here we are at Moe's. The Now Boarding Travel Show is back again. The Movement, the Golden Voice, the Hawaiian Lion, the German European.